I thought the best way to start this video was to talk about a personal story of a friend of mine who actually was raped, and I think this would be the best way to go over rape culture today in today's society. And so to start off, she was someone who I knew who had very hard times being sexually active with any guy she brought over, any guy she knew, and a lot of us had no idea why. Growing up today, you never really think that it's a difficult thing. You just kind of sort of think, why? Just get it over with. You don't really take it to be something special, which is really sad. But I always would wonder why she had such a hard time with getting on a sexual level with any guy she met. And one day I went over to her place to just simply just do some homework, and we were talking about the guy she was currently seeing, and she seemed so excited to tell me that she had actually lost her virginity, and I was so it was one of those things where we're all like, oh hey, like finally, and I was like, why? How come it took so long? It's just the right guy, like blah blah. And she was like, it was scary at first, but I was able to get over it. And I was like, why was it scary? I never had a scary experience with it. She said, well, there's something I've never told you. And I remember I was like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And she basically started telling me the story about how she was raped. And she said it was in an open park, well, not open parking lot, it was behind a Fry's grocery store. And I was like, are you serious? Like, how could that have happened? Like, no one was there. She said, no, it was at night, and Fry's was getting close to closing. I remember I made it there just in time and got what I needed. And when I got out, I remember seeing someone leave the store, but I didn't think twice about it. And she just said the next thing she remembers is her head getting tossed against her car door window, and she said she was put in a daze and picked up and was held back by a knife and said, I will kill you if you don't let me do my thing. And next thing she knows, she's on the ground, and this sexual offender is raping her, and she had nothing to do. She was screaming and crying, and he just kept saying, I'll kill you, I'll kill you. So she said eventually I just sat there and let it happen, because all I could think was, when it's over, it's over. When it's over, it's over, and hopefully I don't lose my life. And she never saw his face. It was probably one of the worst things. And she said after that, it was just so traumatizing. I was so scared to be touched or scared to get near someone, simply for the fact that I didn't trust them. I didn't trust anyone with that. And it took a while for me to finally overcome that. And so, yeah.
So, what percentage of sexual assault do you think occurs during college years?
In terms of like nationwide every year?
Yeah.
60%.
60 you said?
Yeah.
It's actually 20%. So you still have it. Okay, so then what percentage of college women do you think are victims of sexual assault?
30%.
That's really close. Yeah, it's 37%. And then how many sexual assaults do you think go unreported?
In terms of percentage?
Yeah.
15.
No, actually 47% go unreported. So can you describe in one word how hearing all those statistics makes you feel?
Disgusting.
Disgusting. What percentage of sexual assault do you think occurs during college years? It doesn't matter if you're wrong. Yes.
30%, 55%.
Okay, it's actually 37%, so you're pretty close. What percentage of college women do you think are victims of sexual assault?
30%.
It's 20%. So that's close too. And then how many sexual assaults do you think go unreported?
Like 75%.
It's 47%, so yeah, almost 50%. And then, so both of you, describe in one word how hearing those statistics makes you feel.
Nervous? Sad.
Cool. Thank you, guys. What percentage of sexual assault do you think occurs during college? During college, yes.
Well, the publicity and going around is about 80% probably.
It's actually only 20% occurs during college. What percentage of college women do you think are victims of sexual assault?
Again, this is so goddamn politicalized. So because your figure is so low, I suppose it's 15, but I've heard figures as high as 90.
Yeah, it's 37%.
Okay.
So that's kind of average. And then how many sexual assaults do you think go unreported?
Well, again, it depends on the definition of assault. It's a high figure. I don't know, 90%.
47%, so almost 50%. So in one word, can you describe how hearing those statistics makes you feel?
Indifferent.
What percentage of sexual assault do you think occurs during college years?
Like 70.
It's actually only 20%. Or 37, I'm sorry. I keep messing that up. Some of you are close. What percentage of college women do you think are victims of sexual assault?
40.
Okay, that one's 20%. I'm sorry. And then,
Hard to get that,
how many sexual assaults do you think go unreported?
How many? Like a number?
Like, out of all these sexual assaults, how many are unreported? Like, percentage.
I'd say like 40.
40%? Yeah, it's 47%. And then, can you just describe in one word how hearing those statistics makes you feel?
Sad. I guess.
Thank you so much.
But
Out of all the sexual assault that happens in America, what percentage do you think happens to people during college years, between 18 and 24?
I don't know, maybe like 30%.
Not too bad. It's 37% according to the CDC. And obviously that's just reported, so kind of can be a little bit higher than that.
Yeah.
And what percentage of college women do you think are victims of sexual assault?
I would say 30%.
Yeah, the closest that we have right now, according to the CDC, is about 20%. That's still 1 in 5 people. It's a lot of women, especially when you consider ASU. So, what percentage of sexual assaults do you think go into that one?
Probably a lot. Yeah. Just in general? Or at ASU? Or
In general.
in general, how many? I feel like probably at least like 60% that's reported.
So, once again, according to the CDC, it's around 50%, 47-ish. Can you describe in one word how all these statistics make you feel?
It just kind of reminds me of like the culture of being in college, as well as victim blaming. Like I feel like that could be a reason for why the like underreporting is so high. But yeah, I think that a lot of it also has to do with like the culture of like going to parties, like hookup culture.
RAINN is the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization and was named one of America's 100 best charities by Worth Magazine. RAINN created and operates the National Sexual Assault Hotline in partnership with more than 1,000 local rape crisis centers across the country. RAINN offers both an online and over-the-phone sexual assault hotline. Every day and night, these dedicated volunteers sit with victims through invasive emergency room exams, listen to the anguished voices of callers, and find a way to provide solace and support, and they coach the families and friends of victims on playing a positive role in the recovery process. RAINN partners with many college campuses across the country to raise awareness and educate students about sexual violence on college campuses. They do this through RAINN Day, V-Day, campus safety legislation, back-to-school safety, and spring break safety. To learn more about RAINN, visit the website